All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday, June 8th, 2021 at 3:01 p.m. And I will call to order the Freetown Board of Selectmen meeting. First things first, I'll have Luann read Governor Baker's orders regarding the remote meetings.
Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Freetown Board of Selectmen will be conducted by a remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public can be found on the Town of Freetown's website, freetownma.gov. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to view this meeting will be able to view the meeting via live stream at youtube.com/freetownma or freetownma.gov/freecam. No in-person attendance of the members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's YouTube channel an audio or video recording transcript or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting.
All right, thank you, Luann. Okay, so originally tonight we were going to have executive session, but those have been rescheduled. So I think we will kick it off right with our regular agenda. So first, I will entertain a motion for the approval of the meeting warrants from 5/17/21.
Minutes? I think you said minutes, right?
Yep, meeting minutes. Did I say meeting motion? Meeting minutes, sorry. Do I have a motion?
Made. Motion made.
Second? Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Zager?
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
Yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. Next, we have the weekly warrants number 050 and 053. So I will entertain a motion for the approval of the weekly warrants number 050 and 053.
Take that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Zager?
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
Yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. So 4 is discussion of the funding of the municipal solid waste and recycling contract. That's been taken care of at town meeting.
Correct. That was
So-
a hold in case you didn't know how town meeting went.
Yep. Okay. So we'll just move on, if everyone's okay with that, to discussion approval of the transfer request for wages of the town administrator and executive assistant, the amount of $10,000 now.
Correct.
What's the exact figure? Oh, $10,511.49. This was originally $41,821, but Kim, our town accountant, reran the numbers and we got a more accurate number.
Correct. And this is just
Now,
basically.
what number is this?
So this is item agenda number 5. The $41,000 figure has changed to $10,000.
And on my agenda, I have a number here that's $402.91.
That should be that's on agenda item 6, the packet that I'm looking at.
Yeah, we're on number 5, George.
Well, that's, all right, then the agenda must have been changed.
Yeah, it might have been since the if you're looking at like the Word document one.
No, I'm looking at the agenda that I just printed out,
Oh, okay.
and
Does yours
The
say number 4, George? Number 4 says the transfer request for $41,000.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, I don't know what's
Oh.
missing there.
okay, all right.
So
now I
that's
got
the
it.
one.
All right, I thought we were on 5.
So that's maybe I have the wrong packet then.
No, I have number 5.
I have the same trouble.
You have it on 5 as well.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I think he's all set though, because he's got 4. That's number 4 on the one that I'm looking at too. I'm sorry, I don't
Yeah.
know what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, 41,000 and change. Okay.
But yeah, so now that just heads up, that's updated $10,511.
Okay.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to approve this transfer request for wages for the town administrator and executive assistant.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Zager?
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
Yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. So now we have discussion and potential approval of the budget transfer in the amount of $402.91 from professional and tech consulting to TA administrative assistant, additional gross overtime. So, yeah, Peter, why don't you just talk about this one real quick? I know it's small
Yeah.
dollars, but
This is, when we kept him on to do some work for us. So he's working on the Excel files. He was doing some of the CBA for the public safety, police and fire. So this is to compensate him for doing that work.
all right, great. So I will entertain a motion to approve the budget transfer in the amount of $402.91. Wow. From professional and tech consulting to TA admin assistant, additional gross overtime.
Make the motion.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Selectman Zager?
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
Yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. Okay, so next we have the discussion on the budget transfer in the amount of $1,100.86 from operator wages to transfer station additional gross overtime. And
Right now, we have one person down there, so they have overtime. And we
Yeah.
have part-time. Starting July 1st, we're gonna fill that position, so we'll have 2 people back down there. So it should really reduce any more overtime that we have.
okay,
Okay, motion made.
all right.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Zager?
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
Yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. So now we have a transfer request from the highway department in the amount of $3,175 for the purchase of a Tommy gate for the highway department truck. And I remember correctly, this was recommended by highway surveyor Chuck Cumber.
Yeah, Chuck is going to come on about 3:30 if you want to if you have any questions for him on that, and also the discussion on the surplus items.
Okay, so we'll just push this till then.
I mean, you can pass it now. It's really just a gate that goes up and down for the back of the pickup trucks. So it's a
Yeah,
pretty
I saw the documentation of the packet on it.
it's a pretty straightforward thing. I think
Yeah,
the-
I'm okay. So I'll entertain a motion to approve this budget transfer in the amount of 1,180. Oh, sorry. Approval. I'm struggling today. Transfer request from the highway department in the amount of $3,175 for the purchase of a Tommy gate to the highway department truck.
Motion made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Zager?
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
Yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. Okay, so now are all of these Chuck related? No, Chuck's gonna come on mostly talk about the surplus,
Correct.
potentially putting a lot of the vehicles down in surplus, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we can go forward with this other stuff. So this is approval, denial of road opening permits for 95 and 99 South Main Street in Assonet. It looks like, did this already happen? It looks like the work was supposed to start, last week. I think maybe just our meetings got kind of out of whack. But are they still waiting on the permits? So they haven't started work?
They're waiting on the permit because we haven't done that yet.
Okay,
If you have questions, she can come on the meeting. She was planning to come on at about 3:30. I didn't think you'd get through this thing so fast.
now
I know, you're flying tonight.
Yeah, I guess we can hold on that until she comes on. I don't see any issues with it, but from what I saw, but keep it moving. So that's gonna be my agenda item 9.
Gonna
And-
hold it.
We'll put that on hold.
9 is on hold.
Yep. So
Number 10, we can do number 10.
10 we do now, right?
Yes.
So now this is approval denial of accepting a bid of $290,000 plus 10%, plus 2,500 plus 155. So what's the totals, like 3?
It doesn't matter at this point. I'll let you finish and I can explain what's going on.
Yeah, so I know that this are, okay. All right, yeah. So actually, Peter, why don't you just jump in? I know that the first 2 bidders backed out, so we're on the third bid.
Right. This is like the backup bidder. Third
Yeah.
one down. Now they're going to step out. They don't want to close on the property because they've purchased another property since then. So the recommendation from the auctioneer is just to re-auction it again.
Okay,
Keep going down too far, we feel like we're losing value. So his recommendation to the treasurer was to rebid the property. So we're just looking for you folks to give us authorization to rebid it.
all right. So, I mean, I will entertain a motion to put this property back on auction.
Make that motion.
So we're going to deny accepting the bid.
I guess
Well, they withdrew it already.
they withdrew it already. It's just between now and when this was.
I didn't understand what, the item here says approval or denying of accepting the bid.
Well, they have withdrawn since we posted the meeting. So they have the right to withdraw, which they've done. So the recommendation from the treasurer and from the auctioneers for 106 North Main Street in the Sonnet, Mass, to be re-auctioned as under the tax title process. And that's the recommendation we're making. And
Okay, it's just on the agenda, that's not what it says.
no, but
The
it's,
only reason,
yeah, because we have to, the agenda gets locked in, then we can't change it. But that's why we have discussion, gives you the opportunity to give us the new direction that we need.
I mean, I'm fine with putting it out to bid again. But this agenda item, basically, we're denying it.
I see what you're saying.
Approval of the, well, the discussion is they withdraw. There's nothing to approve, there's nothing to deny because they withdrew, we can't control that. There's no cost to the town. We haven't lost any money. It hasn't.
No, I understand that. I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing
Mhm.
based on the language on the agenda.
So do we just deny it and then?
Yeah, how about this? We can deny it,
Okay,
and then I'll make another motion to repost it.
sounds good.
Okay, so first I'll entertain a motion to deny the bid of $290,000 from the third backup bidder for 106 North Main Street in Sonnet, Mass.
Motion made.
Second.
All right, any discussion? No. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So now I will entertain a motion to put 106 North Main Street, Sonnet, Mass, back up for auction.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Selectman Zager?
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
Yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. Okay, moving on. So we have the discussion for approval denial of the license to enter in and use real property between the town of Freetown and the Freetown Regional Food Pantry. Okay, so
We have the license prepared, gone
Yep.
to Mark Rich, the town attorney, for your review. You've
Yep.
had that. We did receive, I don't know if Luann gave you the requirements from Maya for insurance.
yes,
So part of the insurance, part of the licensing would be, they have to approve those
They-
limits or requirements from Maya. But otherwise, it's a license to use and operate the regional food pantry.
So I actually saw what Luann sent, and then I called Craig, the gentleman that's in charge of the food pantry.
Yeah.
And he said that they have a policy already ready to go.
Yeah.
They were waiting to activate it until we had the contract signed. so that we won't have to do anything with this. They'll cover all the costs, because that was my understanding. So when I saw it, I called them and asked.
Good. And did you notice it was kind of a generic? They had the automobile. There's no autos involved or anything like that. It's just
Yeah.
kind of their standard generic requirements. So as
Yeah.
long as they meet them, we're fine.
Okay, so in that case, so I'm gonna entertain a motion to approve the license to enter into the real use property between the town of Freetown and the Freetown Regional Food Pantry.
I'll make
Is that
that
the old police station we're talking about?
Correct.
Okay. Okay,
Motion made.
motion made, yeah.
Seconded.
Give me a second.
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion on this?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Selectman Zager?
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
yes,
Selectman Matthews?
Yes.
Thank you. Good.
All right, so now this is like a Chuck thing. Roadway materials.
That's also Chuck. If it comes on.
So Peter, you guys should wait for him to come on, or,
Yeah, we can wait for Chuck on 12 and 13 if you want. Just-
I mean, I looked at these things, you know, all the different costs. I can't make heads or tail. I saw he bid them out. It all looked pretty reasonable to me.
Yeah. We follow procurement. There's no real issue. I just don't know if Chuck wants to talk about it, but it's,
Yeah, okay, so we can hold that for, until he gets on. It's fine. So 13,
it's Chuck, we're gonna hold the surplus.
yeah, 12. I guess might probably 13 as well.
Correct.
Okay, so now we have the discussion on the encroachment issues for KRR, Zendes, Parks, and next steps. So I did see the email and the assessor's map with the overlay clearly.
Mike McHugh brought it to our attention. We wrote letters probably, Luann, what, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. They never responded back. They can't encroach, they can't take over town property. So I thought it's best to be proactive in this. My request would be to have legal counsel, KP Law, write a letter requesting them to remove their improvements on the property. I mean, we're not talking major stuff, but at the same time, you don't want people encroaching and taking over town property. While they can't have prescriptive easements and they cannot get adverse possession against town property, it's better not to have people just taking over for their own personal use.
Yeah, I wonder how long they've been using that property.
Doesn't matter for us.
Well, but does it? I mean,
You can't have adverse possession against the sovereign,
it's,
which is the
okay.
state, and we are municipality. We are.
I just didn't know that term. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can somebody tell me what is going on here?
Yep. So it looks like it's on South Main Street, towards I guess towards the Stop and Shop kind of area.
Yeah.
There's a couple houses who their backyards, they've kind of cleared out the land into the property that's like the baseball fields of KRR. So, and make it clear, like it's just kind of some woods behind their house that they cleared, but at the end of the day, it's town property.
Yeah, I don't mind that part. They built the fire pit on one has put up a fence and a gate. So I'm more concerned about the improvements more than anything else. You know, they keep it open space. I don't think that's so much of a factor. I hate to see improvements put on because people spend time and money to do that, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, and it's probably, I'm sure they might not even known, that they went and crossed the property line there, but it's pretty clear from the assessor's database.
Correct.
You can clearly see a fire pit on on the KRR field property. So.
And there's a gated fence further, even deeper into.
Yeah.
Not that the town is, I mean, I don't know what the plans are for that particular field, and I don't think we're gonna be expanding in the back, but if they ever did the soccer field, which they talked about at one time, the far end of that soccer field, would wind up abutting to where that fence and gate is, so.
I don't
I
know.
just think it's good to have legal counsel write a letter, put everyone on notice, put the town in a better position than we are at the moment. That's all.
Yeah. What do you, board, what do you guys think? Should we,
Yeah, I
Have-
think having legal counsel, what you said makes perfect sense. Have them send a letter, take the first step.
Right.
Make people aware.
all right, so, yeah, so I guess we have consensus here. I think we're good with sending that letter. Do we need to vote on that?
I would like, just because it's a legal action.
Yeah, all right, so I'll entertain a motion to send the homeowners of the property that's encroaching on the KR Resendes Park, have our council send them a letter informing them that they are in fact encroaching on KR Park.
Motion made.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Selectman Zager?
yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
Yes,
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. Okay. So now, this is the rescind the vote taken on 5/10/2021 for the Open Space and Recreational Advisory Committee for up to 15 members. So, yeah, what's,
This is me. I wanted to have more people, more the merrier, then I forgot about quorum.
okay,
So to make it more realistic, I think that the next motion is to the next item is to bring it down to 9 to make it more, so they can actually have 4 or 5 people meet and actually do work.
yep.
15 was being a little ambitious for my part. I'm sorry.
How many people do we have on the board now?
I think 9, if I'm
Okay.
right.
I think it's 7.
7.
Okay, all right,
We're trying to get, one of the individuals I would like is Hathaway Park that has that neighborhood group. They've done the landscape structures, the playground and stuff. I'd like to have one of those members on that. So they seem to be very invested in Hathaway Park.
Mhm.
So we're kind of trying to recruit someone to do that. And then we still have one open space for someone else.
Okay. All right, so with that, I will entertain a motion. Well, sorry, I'll entertain a motion to rescind the vote taken on 5/10 for Open Space and Recreational Advisory Committee for up to 15 members. Take that one, care of that one first.
I'll make the motion.
motion. Second,
Okay, any discussion? Nope. All in favor?
Aye,
aye,
And then
Selectman
now-
Zager?
yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
yes,
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. Next, I will, now let's just make it 9 members.
Correct.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the number of members for the Open Space and Recreational Advisory Committee to be up to 9 members.
motion made.
Second,
Discussion? Nope. All in favor?
aye,
Aye,
Aye.
Selectman Zager?
yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
yes,
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. Okay.
Chuck has just joined us.
All right. So let's take care of Chuck stuff then.
Welcome, Chuck.
Oh, okay. All good. All set, Trevor.
All right, Chuck.
Whatever you're set, I'm ready.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So let's remind me what the first
9, 12, and
the first
13.
one. No, not my 9.
Okay, 12 and 13.
Okay. So we just to be clear, yeah, because we already did the approval for the Tommy Gate, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's going to be a huge benefit. Recently, we've had a lot of like deers and things,
Mhm.
and the older we get, the weaker we get. And to try to pick up a 200-pound deer,
They don't quarter them? right
no,
there
they
at all?
don't. It'll benefit us a great deal. We're going to put it on the newest pickup truck that we have, so it will have the longest lifespan. So I'm figuring at least 15-year lifespan on that vehicle. So, that $3,500 or whatever it is over 15 years, 10 years is going to be minuscule, really minuscule.
Makes
But
sense.
on number 12 is the surplus equipment that we have.
I'm gonna let him open them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So why don't you open them at 12? Yeah.
All right, so yeah, so now, well, my number 12 is different than your number 12, I think.
You go from your number 12.
I have discussion approval denial of the roadway materials and service contract for fiscal year.
Yeah, that's my number. That's my number 11. But either
Okay.
way,
You want to start off with, yeah, we'll start off with my 12, your 11.
okay.
So yeah, I guess,
The road opening materials, correct? The
Yeah.
roadway. We opened the bids, and I think you've seen the spreadsheets. We've given the bids to the lowest bidders on every one. There was only one vendor that I had a question about, which was the asphalt vendor in place, which is T. Miozzi out of North Kingston, Rhode Island.
mhm,
But I actually went over to Berkeley because they were paving there last week, and their highway surveyor is very satisfied with their work, as I was when I was with them for an hour or two. So I have no reservation on awarding the bid to them. And the other bids, the salt bids, everything is fine. Everybody has their bonds. Everybody's Mass Highway approved where they need to be. So yeah, I think my recommendations should pass, should go.
all right. Just out of curiosity,
Yep.
like, I know commodity prices have been crazy. Do you see, these corresponding kind of materials you have to buy going up?
Right now, no. Actually, the price of everything seems, if nothing more, lower than what you would think they would be. But where everything else is through the roof,
Even bituminous?
bituminous, even the price of oil now is low and lower. And when you do a Chapter 90 project, they are allowed to bill out what the price of oil is that day. So sometimes you can do a project and it's way lower. It can't be way higher. There's a certain formula that they use, but right now we're in good shape, because honestly, if the commodities price went through the roof, I would probably put a hold on any projects until things get back to normal.
Yeah.
I had that discussion today about the sidewalk project that was approved last night, thankfully.
Mhm.
If the price of, say, granite curbing, which is the biggest part of the project, if that is like the price of lumber, if it's doubled or more, I may hold off on that project until next spring to let the numbers come back down, because it doesn't make any sense to spend, $300,000 on a $200,000 project.
I hear you.
And if it's a matter of just holding back, I think that's would make sense.
Well,
So, but as far as our roadway bids, everything is in line. Nothing's out of the ordinarily high. So we're in good shape, knock on wood.
all right, great to hear. Okay, so with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the roadway materials and service contract for fiscal year 7/1/2021 to 6/30/22.
Motion made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Zager?
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
Yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. Okay, so now we'll move on to the potentially surplus equipment.
We've acquired a ton of stuff, both highway, police, fire, COA, equipment, fire engines, old trailers,
Pontoon
vans,
boats.
plows, police cruises. I'd like to have all that stuff declared as surplus and then get rid of it, which in the way that would be most beneficial to the town. Right now, the price of scrap, I think, is high. So I think it would be beneficial for those things that would sell better as scrap. That's the way we should just get rid of it.
Mhm.
In the past, where, say, a police cruiser per se, you'd have an auction like we've had in the past, would sell for $100. That person would then take it to a scrapyard and get $500 for it. Well, we might as well make the $500 and not go through the bid process, the auction process.
Yeah.
I think once it's declared a surplus, we can pretty much do whatever we want. We have some snow plows that date back to the 40s that are like just heavy, straight steel heavy. They're not worth $5 at an auction, but somebody at scrap will probably get $1,200 a piece for them. So I think eventually, because I've listed a bunch of trailers and things that we use for storage, eventually I'd like to have that entire yard cleaned right up, all the trailers, all the junk, and then hopefully with some of the proceeds purchase 2 or 3 Connex boxes, like shipping containers. They run about $4,000 a piece for storage, because we do need storage space, but the trailers that we have now they're not weather tight. There's critters that live in them that are bigger than most of us. And it's just to neaten up the yard and keep it neat, so there's no issues in the future with having there's 6 or 7 vehicles up there just sitting there leaking whatever kind of fluids, and it's just a bad situation. We don't run a junkyard. We think we run a highway department. So if that stuff is declared a surplus, then we can work as a team to figure out what's the best means and methods to get rid of, say, the ladder truck. I don't know that the ladder truck has any value because it doesn't pass certification. So if somebody buys it at auction for $5,000 as a collector's piece, or do we get $15,000 for it as scrap? Like I said, I think it benefits the town more to scrap a lot of this stuff, especially now. And we'd have to keep an eye on the market and try to get, obviously the most we can as the prices rise and fall. But I think that's the best way to get rid of a lot of this stuff.
No, that makes sense to me.
No, I think there'll be a certain cost associated with it to get rid of like the snow plows and things like that. I would probably either have Mid-City come in with a dumpster where we can load it and they haul it away. So there might be small cost associated with it, but I think in the long run, we'd make out way better.
Is that something Excel would take? Any of this?
I'm sure they would, George, but I don't know that I want to go down that road.
Well,
I mean,
they're there.
yeah,
What the
they
hell?
are, but Mid-City handles all the scrap up at the transfer station. We have accounts set up and where they can direct pay us just like they do now. So I think that would be the easiest. And maybe some of the vehicles, there's scrap yards where some of like the ladder truck per se, if we decide to scrap it, we could drive that truck right there and leave it and walk away with a check for, whatever it weighs up is for the metal. One of the pieces of equipment that I listed originally was a 1986 Ford Louisville fire engine. I didn't want anything to do with it originally, but I had a brainstorm, and the truck itself is pretty solid. It's only got 59,000 miles on it, and it's an old school truck where it doesn't have any electronics, any of the new stuff that goes bad and it costs a lot of money to fix. So I proposed, I think I sent you another letter that
Yeah, I saw that.
we keep that truck for the highway department, retrofit it with a sander that I already have in stock, and basically make it another vehicle that's accessible for us in the wintertime. I'm pretty sure I can convert that truck completely for probably less than $2,000. I'm brainstorming with Big Wheel to maybe, and I don't know if I could trade the fire body itself with the pump to them, and in turn they can do the conversion for us. We basically give them something we're going to scrap, and they in turn make our truck what we want it to be.
Mhm.
But I haven't talked to them. I haven't reached out to them. But the long and short of it all, I think we can convert that truck for little to no money and have a truck that we can have around probably for another 8 to 10 years, because it'd pretty much be a winter piece of equipment. You know, we could put a snowplow on it. The sander I already have in stock. We can basically just bolt it to the back and call it a day. So I just kind of entertaining that thought.
Just for point of reference, just because it's on the list, it gives you the authority, doesn't mean you have to get rid of it.
Right.
So they can approve it to get rid of it,
Yeah.
but if you want to keep it, it's more, you can keep it.
And you know, a brand new combination, you know, sander, plow truck, brand new, you're looking at $200,000. And like I said, I don't want to put that burden on people. And honestly, an older truck is a better truck, because it doesn't have all the modern things that break. You know, the electronics, the emissions, all those things. So it's a mechanical truck. And I think it would be a good score for the town and to add a piece of equipment for little to no money, a piece of equipment that we've already bought and paid for 30 years ago. So I think it's a win-win all the way around.
Is any of that equipment on that list worth more to auction off than to scrap?
You know, I've got it in front of me. You know, I don't know. Again, you don't know the market. When you auction things off, you have no idea on that day. There are companies out there, Municipal Bids. You know, years ago, we always had John Ashley, past selectman, who always did a great job for us doing auctioneer work. But you always got the local yokels. A company like a Municipal Bid goes basically, say, throughout New England, and somebody in Sanford, Maine may want that 1968 Ford tractor for parts or whatever, and maybe they'll bid more.
We can put reserve, you can put reserves on these items.
Mhm.
You don't have to, there's absolute auctions where they go for whatever price it is,
Yeah.
but we don't have to do that. We can,
That's my thought, right? So if we say
can
that.
put reserves.
that is
so if
worth
we know that fire truck at scrap is, let's say, $5,000, we can say we're gonna have a reserve bid of 5,500, you know?
Right.
So we can do
That's
that.
exactly my point, because then that might be the way, because you're right. There might be someone,
I wouldn't do that with the plows or the small things, but the
yeah, I
larger.
know that stuff, no, but some of the bigger equipment, I would think.
And to be
They're
honest, with you,
ballpark.
a lot of trucks, people like different organizations, like it's kind of like the helicopter in front of the VFW. People like the fire trucks and stuff. So you may get someone wanting to do that, especially if it drives.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things like the ice boats,
Yeah.
they're just fiberglass little skiffs that they were the latest and greatest thing back in 1964, which I don't know that they have any value at all. And there's no scrap value. So maybe something like that, maybe we want to put off as auction, because if we got $50 for them, that's $50 more than what we would get if we just brought them up and threw them away. The pontoon boat comes with a trailer, has an outboard motor. Somebody's going to give you money for that. They're going to give you maybe $1,500 for it, $2,000. Somebody that, you know, is handy, that wants to buy a cheap pontoon boat and doesn't want to spend $40,000 on a new one. But the police cruisers, I think they're junk. The water department's van is beat. So I honestly think you get more for scrap for stuff like that. Most of the sander, we have an old sander that's basically just totally rotted out. That's not worth anything to anybody. So that should be scrapped. A couple of homemade crazy trailers that are just rotted away. Again, that's honestly, I think if I'd call Mid-City, have them bring a dumpster, we'd load it, have them haul it away. And we probably have maybe 2, maybe 3 dumpsters worth of scrap. Let them haul it away, weigh it up, send the town a check. I think we'd be way better off.
Can you give us your recommendations on what you think should go to scrap, what should go to municipal bid, and then I don't need it right now, you know?
No, I think I did. If you look on the list, I'm pretty sure we separated it.
Yeah, page 75.
Oh, I bet I didn't notice that.
So yeah, the top parts are the auction, and then we go to scrap below.
You know, and again, that, like Peter said, maybe some of the other things we could put a reserve on if we know roughly what it's worth as scrap. And, you know, maybe contact
Oh,
one of those companies that does the bids, because when they do it, you don't have to, your hands off. They come down, they'll take pictures.
Right.
They advertise it. And then they're responsible. You don't have to load it. They come down and the equipment is taken away. And the town doesn't have to do anything except collect the money.
And they wire them.
Yes, and I think it's, and again, maybe it's not worth anything. And then if nobody bids on it, then it's,
Can always scrap.
and we can always scrap it.
Yeah, that makes sense. to me.
It-
So
it's-
Chuck, one question is, so
Yeah.
I know like some of the stuff, has like, it was fire department, council on aging for the PT Cruiser, stuff like that. So they're all kind of, they haven't used these things in a while and they're kind of all good with,
I do believe we got letters from everybody, but I don't know if I got anything from Carlton about the police cruisers.
okay,
But, COA, water department and fire department have green lighted everything.
all right, great.
So, yeah, and I don't think there'll be an issue with any of it. And if there is, that's okay too.
Yep.
The two police cruisers, they just got one back from the shooting range that they used as a shield. So it's riddled with bullet holes. So,
Jeez.
and there's no parts that they can, they don't need the door for a trunk lid or anything like that. So, like I said, I just like eventually just to have, hopefully by Labor Day, I want the yard to be spotless.
I like that.
I just want all the scrap vehicles, because again, any vehicle that just sits there for years, it's dripping grease, oil, antifreeze, any kind of contaminants on the ground. And
He said spotless.
yes, and I would like to get it as clean as possible, just because it's a town property and it deserves a certain amount of respect.
Yep.
So
Spotless.
thank you, Chuck.
spotless is a stretch, but it's, we can go a long way.
So,
Go ahead.
yeah, so I guess more of a question for Peter about how like the vote's gotta work here. So if we are gonna vote on just putting all this into surplus,
Yes, and you're gonna follow his recommendation.
follow the recommendations? Okay, so on that, so I will entertain a motion to put the vehicles and listed on the sheet that Chuck submitted into surplus and go forward with his recommendations.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Selectman Zager?
yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
Yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. All right, do we need Chuck for anything else tonight?
Do you have anything else?
No, I think we're good.
right.
Last night's meeting went well, I think. The
Yeah,
town meeting went
very well.
There was no bloodshed, which is
Yeah.
always good.
Always a win.
And, no, I
It's a
think
win-win, right?
I think everybody did a great job. So, thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Cool, Chuck, thank you.
Off to work. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now, do we have our guest for the road permits?
She is not logged in yet.
Okay, what time do we expect her? Just
3:45.
okay, so give
So
her-
any minute, as soon as she comes on. I think the next one would be the discussion of the selectmen's goals.
Okay, yep. So I guess I'll kick this off. I submitted a couple of goals, just high level kind of things that I'm interested in. Kind of want to put them out there. My number one goal is to improve morale among town employees. We've had a lot of turnover the last couple of years, a lot of change. I definitely get a sense that we can improve the culture and in town. So that's something that, it's a lofty goal, but I'm going to try to take some actual steps to make that happen. I think a part of that is just me showing more face around there, something I need to work on, make time to get down there and actually sit and talk to everybody. So that's on me. My second one I submitted was to get more grants for the town and hopefully have somebody who's, right now I think it's, each department head, that's a part of their responsibility is to get these grants. I think that's, in theory that works, but the day-to-day work you're doing, those are the type of long-term goals that maybe get pushed down the list, priority list. So that's just something that I need to figure out and work with, department heads and see what kind of assistance they need to be able to actually get more. I think there's money out there, and I want to make sure we're not missing any opportunities to get that into town. And then kind of related to my first goal is improve morale. It's just, to reduce turnover. I think those things kind of go hand in hand. And then finally, I'd like to create a town planner position. Through talking to folks in town that been around here for a while, I get a sense that there's never really been a long-term plan. It's always kind of reactionary, not, proactive. So I think it'd be, and this kind of also relates to the grants and everything else. So I think if we have somebody who's works for the town, who has a lot of municipal experience, and can help kind of tie together all these department heads and also work with, and understanding, the planning board and how all those things work and the conservation commission, everything else to kind of come together. I think that'd be interesting, and I think it'd add a lot of value in town. So those are my kind of lofty goals. Jared, I know you submitted one too.
Yeah, I actually had a second one, and I'm a little upset with myself that I didn't put it on there. So I'm not sure if I should bring it up now, but I will speak to the first one at least, and that is to get the communications working properly for first responders in town, as well as, I say first responders really meaning police, fire, and highway department. Anyone who lives on this side of town knows that, I'm saying, well, most people on this side of town know that they have a very hard time communicating back. If a police officer is in their cruiser, it's not good, and it's even worse if they're out, or I say police officer, any police or fire, especially when they're on their handhelds. So they're obviously at their most vulnerable position when they're out of the vehicles. So I really want to work on figuring out how we get everything clear for them. The safety needs to be first. And then I know it's not on here, but should I bring up the second one that I had? I'm really mad at myself for not putting on there.
I would, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So the other thing was vocational schooling. Right now, the kids were going to Old Colony, and now we switched them over to Bristol Plymouth. And it's really trying to identify what makes the most sense. Because as of right now, Bristol Plymouth, we don't have a contract with them. So this upcoming year, only 15 kids can enter into the school. And I want to figure out which school makes the best avenue, makes the most sense in order to join come to commitment with either school, whether that be Old Colony or Bristol Plymouth. So we can hopefully get more than 15 kids into the school. So those are really my two lofty goals.
So yeah, that's interesting. So because we went through a lot of meetings and conversations about that specific issue. We actually had like a subcommittee who made the recommendation, to go forward with BP. One of the big issues, right, just kind of was the amount of money we would have had to pay to stay going to Old Colony. Would have been very expensive, but I don't remember it being a cap of 15 students a year. That obviously won't work.
Yeah, so the problem is it looks like they gave us these like 15 kids, and don't hold me to this, but my understanding so far has been that these 15 kids were allowed to go in, and they kind of let us in as like a freebie almost, right? But we have to like join as part of the school, which will then turn into a much bigger expenditure. So there's going to be a big expenditure from either school. So it's really figuring out the best direction to go in once we have all that information. So I just started getting some of that information based on the the subgroup that you had just spoke of.
Yeah, I definitely think we should get them in here, sooner than later, and have a conversation and make sure we all got we know all the information there. That's interesting.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Maybe Luann can set up a workshop with the folks you want to meet with to have. I mean, I don't know enough about either Votech school, and I know there's an agricultural school you send kids to too.
Yes, Bristol Aggie.
But maybe Luann can organize like a big workshop on that. And everything can kind of sit down and figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
Trevor,
Yes, sir.
on your goals, I think that's a great idea, but I would think that trying to do what you're trying to do ourselves is going to be a real tough road. And what I had written down for myself here on that vein was that we should bring in an independent consultant that has worked on issues like this. Personnel problems can be very tricky, and I don't think that internally people will be particularly forthcoming with their problems.
Yeah.
It's a real tough issue to tackle. And
I like that idea, George. I mean, I'm especially in my professional life, outside of this, I mean, I lean on consultants all the time because you definitely need that outside view, you know, to really,
absolutely.
so very
I
interesting.
actually strongly agree with that as well. The only thing I will say is, you know, to Trevor's point, us showing our faces there in front of people and talking to people will definitely help the situation. I'm not saying going there as the HR rep, but I'm saying just to show up.
It won't hurt anything, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But to hire a consultant, I agree with you, George. I do.
okay. So I mean, if we want to go down that road, we could explore that. I have no idea what the expenses would be. Consultants usually aren't cheap.
Yep, that's for sure.
Yeah, but they're probably a lot cheaper than when you have to keep rehiring the employees.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And another thought that I've had for this is maybe it's a little bit off what we're trying to do, but as a goal, I think we need to look at an overview of how things are done in terms of controls of systems. As a very obvious one, we do not have very good cash control. And that would be something that I think we should really look at. We handle a lot of cash, and you know, that is something that needs to be looked at some point.
Yeah, George, that's like, so I wonder, we must get audited, right?
Well, yes, we do get audited, but
I wonder, like, I'm curious to see, you know, what kind of controls they test during their, you know, those kind of audits. Because, or at least something to look into, maybe, you know, we can look at what the best practices are and try to implement some of those, you know,
right.
make recommendations from.
Yeah. Another issue that's, because that might not help morale very much, but you know, a couple of years ago, I'm not sure exactly the timeline here, but we brought in a whole system of tracking times and vacation time, sick time, hours, and all of that. And I'm sure we paid for it. I don't know how much. And there were time clocks involved and some other systems. And somehow that all got taken down. It was never really used. And, you know, I think that's something that's another issue that should be reviewed.
Yeah, I don't know much about that, but yeah, I agree.
You're on mute. Peter, you're on mute.
What's that?
Peter's on mute. He was trying to talk.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter. We do use a paper system here, and it'd be more helpful to have it more, whether it's a computer software system to help track all of that. I know the time clock we're probably going to pull because no one uses it. No one's ever managed it. It costs us money for no reason. But with that said, we do need a mechanism, I think, that's a little more efficient than how we do things now. And that we would work with in Kim's office and the treasurer's office to take a look at what systems would be best for them and how it would work. But right now, we're flipping through pages, and you've got so many different collective bargaining agreements and individual contracts and stuff. It's hard to and bylaw employees. It's hard to track for them.
In issues like that can cause people to be unhappy in the work situation because they see one person does this, another person does that, and it causes a little bit of stress, let's say.
Well, for me,
I'm sorry, but what I'm getting at basically is basic accountability of systems. And I think we're lacking a little bit in that department.
I don't disagree. I think it's worth looking at. And like I said before, it's like when we talk about comp time for certain individuals, they calculate it different. We need to standardize all that practice. And if we could, I don't think we'll hurt morale so much because I think I get a lot of questions that people ask a lot. They would like to see an improvement in our accountability of that, how we track it and stuff. That's all.
Yeah, I think key word there, Peter, is accountability.
Yeah.
And when you have good accountability, it stops a lot of distension and looking at other people when you're thinking that they're getting away with more than you are or whatever.
I'm not, and we were talking about before about the cash controls. In the building here, I don't think we're bad. It's offsite that we have some, maybe at the beach, maybe at the boat ramp, transfer station. I think we need a little more attention at those areas than necessarily in the house. In the house here, people pay by cash, but it's predominantly by check, right? I mean, no one's walking and paying their taxes with cash. There's a few, but the offsite, we need better administration or better systems how we do that. And we just opened I don't like people walking around with an envelope in their pockets at the boat ramp, right? So that's one of the things Luann and I are looking at. How can we improve that, So.
Okay, Trevor, you got it.
All right. So, Luann, do we have our guest with us now? Are we all set with this discussion, by the way? I think we're good.
Well, my question now would be, what are we doing to move forward with this?
No, I think that's a good point. I think it's on each of us to take action and try to, work with Peter, Luann, and the rest of the team, try to figure out what we actually have to do here to keep these things. What I do want to it's almost like old business. We should keep them in focus so they're always there and kind of reminding us, because it's like anything else. These sometimes these goals, they're just like I was speaking about earlier. They're the easiest to kind of push down to the bottom of your priority list when you have day-to-day problems. So, I'd be interested in keeping them on old business or potentially, I don't know, some kind of reminder so we can.
Well, I totally agree with what you just said. And I think if we really want to move ahead somewhat aggressively so that it doesn't just peter out as the months go by, because that can certainly happen in projects like this, is that we have it on the agenda once a month and look at what we're doing and what the progress is. And
I like that. We can have once a month, and then we can have, kind of goals that we've had, and we can use that opportunity to add new goals and kind of keep that list going. And then it's just, at least it drives this conversation, which hopefully will lead to us taking action, right?
yeah, sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Great. Okay. So Luann.
So she has not joined the call, so she's clearly late. So if you want to just have a discussion, I know you had mentioned before that we had talked about this on April 20th meeting, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was approved. This is just, they've actually sent in the road opening permits with the fees. So they need approval to open the road at those two locations.
I have no problem with that.
So you just have to make a motion and vote that they can do that.
So I will, entertain a motion to approve the road opening permits for 95 and 99 South Main Street in Assonet, Massachusetts.
What number item is that?
My line item 9.
You're probably your 8, Chuck. George.
So my 9 is on a bid.
You were one behind us, I think, so check your number 8.
Oh, right. 95, 99 South Main Street.
Yes.
And exactly what is that?
So it's permits to open the road. There was some work done. Street and sidewalk opening permit.
You want to cut into the road. It's for utility.
So this is a permit to do it?
Yes,
Okay. So, but this is a town road?
correct.
Okay, all right,
I'll make that motion.
All right.
second.
All right. No discussion. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Zager?
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
Yes,
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. Okay, so in that case, no, well, okay, Jared gets away, no
We got
board.
a packed-filled agenda.
Yeah. All right, so now George, moving on to personnel board. You have a lot.
okay.
Well, actually, I should mention before we get into this that the discussion and approval of the contract amendments are going to be pushed because we didn't have those negotiations yet.
All 3 of them. Right.
So that would be 19, 20, and 20, or
No,
what?
18,
Yeah,
18, 19, 20,
yes.
21. Do we want to discuss that? Extension of contract for Tim?
Yeah, we can bring that up. That's fine.
Okay. All right. Can you enlighten us on that, Peter?
I thought you were going to do number 18 first. The number 17.
17, okay. Appoint Umberto St. Louis, part-time senior clerk for the Board of Health at $17.30 an hour for up to 19 hours, effective 6/9/2021.
So my only request is because we just passed the budget, and we actually funded that position up to 36 hours. I don't think she wants to do 36 hours, but we definitely want her more than 19 hours. So my recommendation would be 19 hours for the rest of this fiscal year, and then up to 36 hours for next year. But I think I'm going to meet with Dale, I'm going to meet with her, and I think we're going to try to balance it around 24, 25 hours, depending on her schedule and what Dale wants. So I'd like to do the 19 hours for the rest of this year, and starting next year, go up to the 36, but in reality, we'll scale it down, depending on what the schedule is.
So for clarification, so right now we can just vote on this to the end of, so 6/30/2021, and then we can put that on another agenda
You want to
item.
do it that way? We can do it that way if you
It'd be
want.
easier, right?
Okay,
Of the fiscal year 21 or the
Yeah.
calendar year?
to June 30th of this year, so 3 weeks.
Oh, okay, that's right around the corner. All right, but that's what,
Or
okay,
you can just, if you just want to do it longer, then I can always come back and ask for the extra hours. Because I don't want to, you know what I mean? So let's do that. We'll hire up to the 19 hours per week, effective 6/9/21. And then when I work it out with Dale, I'll come back to you and ask for the extended hours. This way I don't want to make sure I have her, to do the work.
okay, all right.
That's
So
fair? Is it better?
entertain a motion to accept number 17.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Selectman Zager?
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. And now the Tim one.
Okay. Okay, number 21. To approve or deny contract extension through 7/31/21 for Tim McIntosh. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Peter?
Yeah,
Sure.
we thought about keeping Tim on to do, not so much Excel, because we're in a different mode right now, but keep him on for the collective bargaining for police and fire. Those are the public safety ones he was working on. And at the same time, he can help and assist Luann if she needs something. So we had a discussion with him. He's not taken off quite yet, so we thought we'd extend it out for 2 more months to do that. We could.
And we have the funds for that?
We do have funds for that. We'll probably require at the end of the fiscal year, moving some money around between the line items within our budget. Because I don't know, I don't expect to spend a whole lot, to be honest with you. But I can never guess with collective bargaining, so.
Well, he's not under collective bargaining, is he?
He is not, but he helps us when we go through the CBA negotiations.
Oh, I see what you mean. The time that we'll need him.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay.
And plus,
you-
he's been assisting Luann from time to time.
Yeah. Should we put a cap on this, hours or dollars or?
I wasn't worried about it right now. I think if it becomes an issue, I'll bring it to your attention, but he doesn't do work unless we request it, so we can kind of control it internally,
Okay.
right?
So he's basically working as a per diem type person, if you want to
Yeah.
call it that?
Yeah, I mean, we could.
Okay, maybe just for clarification so that. All right. Okay, so
I just like to
Okay.
extend his contract as it is, and we're fine with that. And
all right, so can we have a motion on that, please?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Luann, if you're trying to talk, you're muted.
where's Luann?
No, I think she's fine. I don't think she was trying to talk, Jared.
She on a coffee break?
No, we're good.
we're almost done.
What's going on here?
George, your next one would
Your
be,
next one.
Oh, you're waiting
The
for me?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Well, you didn't take a roll call, did you?
Oh, that's what it was.
oh, it was me, sorry.
George, you're 2 steps ahead.
Oh,
2 steps ahead,
You
George.
caught me, George. Selectman Zager,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes,
Selectman Matthews.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm sleeping on the job here. Your turn, George, number 22.
okay, thank you. The approval or denial of agreement between the Board of Selectmen and Town Administrator. That's something we want to discuss?
yeah, all I'm asking for, it's no change in the contract other than to treat my vacation time like everybody else in time. So it's not increasing anything or changing anything other than asking that my vacation time is handled and treated the same way as all the other bylaw, contract, and personnel for the town. That's all it is.
My question, Peter, would be, are we not doing that?
No, not really. I mean, we did a hybrid of it this year because I asked for that, and the discussion was that we should come back and then modify my contract. So initially,
are
we
we-
started no. Then we had a discussion with Kim and Pam, and they kind of did a hybrid that when Lisa was here, that was approved. So now I'm just trying to put it in my contract that be treated the same. That's all. It's not adding any extra time or doing anything like
No.
that.
But I just want to be clear what we vote on.
Yeah, and I have the language in your packet right there. So where is it?
It's on page 84 of the packet.
Yeah. Okay. So it says thereafter, the town administrator will be entitled to 3 weeks vacation, which is what I get now, and to be administered in the same as other non-union employees assigned to town hall. So I just want the clarification for Kim's office and my office that I'm going to be treated the same as all the other bylaw and non.
Okay.
And we treat the
Alright.
union people the same way. I mean, they're all treated the same way.
All right, can we have a motion to accept?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
What was
Okay,
that? Sorry.
so we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye,
Thank you.
Selectman Zager?
yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes.
Okay, on number 23, do we want to discuss this now or,
Yes. That's fine.
okay. Discuss wages for the public health nurse Lori to $36 an hour, effective 7/1/21.
Yep.
And I think that we had a meeting with her and that was the agreement.
She put the request in. We did a salary survey of a variety of public nurses in the area. They all float somewhere between 34 and 40, and we're 35 and 36 with majority. She's been with us a number of years, so we thought she's right now at 35. We thought we'd put her for 36. And just she's been doing a lot of hours because of COVID, and so we thought it was deserving at this time.
Did she request a specific number, just out of curiosity?
I know she probably requested more. I don't know if she requested a specific number, but we did the survey and the average is really around 35. So we went to 36 at the time.
Yeah, when we offered her 36, she's accepted that.
She was all right.
So she's happy with the $36, just to be clear.
Yes,
Yeah,
That's what I care about.
I appreciate her work. She does a great job.
she does. She's a full-time person in another town, Marion.
Yeah.
And she does, I think, 3 other towns, Freetown and a couple other towns as their public nurses.
Yeah, well, we're lucky to have her, and I just want to make sure that we retain her. I don't want to lose her or $1 or something. That's why I was just clarifying that she's happy with the amount that we agreed upon.
right.
Well, hasn't been changed in 8 years, so we thought it was, and she's right. She really is at par with kind of what these towns are paying around here. So she'll be in a little bit of better position than that.
Yeah. And just to reaffirm, she did agree and she seemed happy to accept that.
Okay.
Perfect. That's,
Okay, all right, so, all right, number 24.
We have to do a motion on that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Somebody want to make a motion?
I will make that motion.
I will second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Selectman Zager?
Yes,
Selectman Grunwald?
yes,
Selectman Matthews?
Yes.
Maybe
okay,
just a point of reference on that. Our health agent makes $35 an hour, so 35, 36. That's kind of the standard for that profession in the area, just both of them.
okay. Number 24, discussion on 4 hours, to roll over 4 hours to the next fiscal year for Mike McHugh due to the addition of Juneteenth as a paid holiday. Can you explain that, Peter? I mean,
This is the first year the state just adopted Juneteenth. It's a holiday starting June 19th. I believe it's for civil rights, civics. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. So that's affecting a lot of the folks. So he's asking to carry that over. You have in your bylaws that they can't carry over. No one can carry over vacation time unless they come to you. Last year, you did a bunch for COVID. This year, you're doing some for COVID and for the Juneteenth. And I think that the next one is like 3 more people for that. So it's not uncommon. And it's, for Michael, I think it's only 4 or 8 hours. I forget exactly how much.
And yeah, I think the clarification here too is that Michael already had this vacation time scheduled before it became an official vacation day.
Yeah.
So he kind of got,
Yeah.
short end of the stick there.
okay.
Correct.
All right, so can we have a motion on that?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Selectman Zager?
Yes,
Selectman Grunwald?
yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes.
Okay, number 25. Approval denial of rolling over unused vacation time for Luann Souza, Peter Jankowski, and Nadine Diamond into next fiscal year. So this is basically almost the same thing, right?
Almost, probably more hours for me because I had this snafu earlier in the year with the vacation time, and Luann got extra time when she got promoted to the executive assistant, if I'm remembering right. So it's essentially, you'll probably have a few more of these from other staff members. It's just between COVID and people and what have you, they didn't take vacation time, so we're asking to roll them over.
Yeah, one thing we should probably look at one day is, you know, being able to automatically rolling over some amount of hours. Because it seems like this seems to be a common thing that comes up, and you know, we're not going to deny it.
Right. Certain time, you can't really. So my other towns, either they had an automatic, you could carry over up to 20 or 30 or 40 hours, or you could have a buyout. The towns would buy out 10, 15, 20, 30 hours at the end of every year.
Yeah, that makes sense. Something like that.
Yeah, we should, to Trevor's point, 100% do something where there can be an automatic rollover, but cap it at 40 hours or 20 hours or something.
Can
So
we put in,
I'll draft something together in policy and I'll bring it to you, so you can make it effective in, you know, July or August, something like that.
yeah, that would be great, Peter. Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Okay.
depends on when you start, because I started last October, and according to when I first started, I can't take any time for 6 months. And then I've been alone in the office since, so I haven't been able
Well,
to take any.
she's different now. She's a bylaw, so she could take it. Where if you're in the union, they kind of get trapped, and it's really not fair. So that's why, like Nadine's in the union. So if, you know, depending when they start and whatever, they kind of get the short end of the stick on that. So I like the idea. It's a good idea that they can automatically carry over so much.
Okay, so we'll put something together for our next meeting?
Well, it'll probably be July and August, because I
Okay.
can't do it for this year. So let's do it for next year. I got a couple other things bubbling, and we'll be
Okay,
back.
all right. So can we have a motion to accept these?
I'll
For
make that
today?
motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye,
Selectman Zager,
yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
yes.
Selectman Matthews.
Yes.
Okay. Number 26, appoint Peter Jankowski to SERP Commission member effective 5/21/21 until 5/20/22.
So on this one, unless someone else really wants it, because I've done enough of these in my career, I don't need to sit on anymore. But if someone really has an interest in regional planning or anything like that, this is a good one to sit on. Trevor or Jared, you guys would really enjoy it, I'm sure.
I am interested in it, actually. I just don't know if I have the
Time.
time, like during, especially if the meetings are during the day when I'm working. I just don't know if I can make that happen.
I'm with you.
Well, you could always appoint you as alternate member, and you can go whenever you want. I'll be the alternate. Make you, make you the primary, make me the alternate. If you can't go, I could go. But I've sat on enough of these,
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I'm at the end of my career where you guys are starting, and you guys more interesting, But
Yeah.
it's up to you. Whenever you want to change it, I am all in favor of it.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll check out the schedule. For now, I think we should appoint you, and then we can go forward and check out
Yeah.
what the time commitment is before I sign up for something I won't be able to fulfill.
All right.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to appoint Peter.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye,
Thank you.
Selectman Zager,
yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
yes.
Selectman Matthews.
Yes.
Congratulations, Peter.
No, let's not that. I am more than willing to give this up at next meeting, whenever you want it.
Okay, number 27, appoint Amanda Barlow, Vice Chair of the Open Space and Recreation Advisory Committee, effective 6/8/21.
No, I think that's a good appointment. She's very active in the committee. She lives in town, or she works with she has a very interest in the ADA issues and stuff, so I think she'll be a good appointment to be vice chair.
Okay. Any other discussion?
No, sounds like a great fit.
Okay, entertain a motion.
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I just for point of reference, I do think I'm going to ask the chairman that instead of just having any member come up and make recommendations to the Board of Selectmen, that it has to go through their committee first. Then any recommendation they want will go through as a committee to you.
That makes sense.
We've had a couple of incidences now where members have just kind of taken off and done their own thing. And that's fine, but I prefer any recommendations come from the committee itself to you guys. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as individuals, they should only be able to come to us as an individual, not part of a committee.
It's a learning curve. And I
Yeah.
just,
Okay,
Selectman Zager?
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. Okay. I think that
All
was
right.
the end of our agenda.
On old business, where are we with Council on Aging?
Good question.
I didn't watch the last building committee, so I don't know, and I haven't read their minutes. So I have to go see for that. I believe Andy met with the building committee last time and they had a discussion. I knew Andy had met with the library since we last spoke, so I'll have to go read and ask. I don't know.
So this is just floating out there, nothing's happening?
Well, I think these things happening. I gotta get myself up to speed on it and stuff. The last thing I did is I had a discussion with David from the Council on Aging, and he gave me a plan that he wanted the one large room added. So I sent that over to Andy, and Andy was going to include that as part of his study, his recommendations, even though it's broader than what it was requested. But that's kind of what the COA asked for, and that's what they got funding from at the town meeting, 2 town meetings ago. But I haven't heard where we are with that. I know the building committee has met since then. I didn't read the minutes, so I'm not up to speed on that. But we got to be close to Andrew being done that compilation, that study he was doing, feasibility study. So what we'll do is I'll have Luann reach out to his office tomorrow and see where we are exactly on that.
Yeah, it'd be nice for our next meeting if we would have a status report.
Yeah.
Okay,
If you want to do the phone system upgrades, I know we're meeting with the COA tomorrow. Vertical is a very expensive system, and Choctaw Fire, they're comfortable with the system they have now. I'm going to meet with Barbara and her staff tomorrow. But if I can just upgrade their phones and keep them on Comcast, I think I want to do that. Vertical, because when the internet goes out, they shut down, and it's a very, very expensive system, and I'm not sure we want to keep increasing our costs. Right now, we pay $600 and something a month just for the vertical portion, not the phone portion of there. So
this is just for the COA, Peter?
no, it was us, the police station, fire, COA, transfer station, highway. We've done the town hall. I believe the police station are on their own standalone system. COA has, Lola can correct me if I'm wrong, they have 4 phones now. They requested 9. I'm not sure why they need 9 phones scattered around there. And it's the system that we selected is not the easiest, and it's probably not the most cost effective. So I think if I can talk to Barbara and her staff and keep 3 lines down there instead of having 9 lines, just do Comcast, it's cheaper for us to do that. And I don't need a sophisticated system down for 1 line, like the transfer station or the highway. You don't need sophisticated multi-line systems for those places. So we're kind of reviewing how we're doing on that right now. I don't know if Luann has any comments, if I missed something.
Peter, I have another question for you. On old business, the cameras at the transfer station have dropped out with some other things. But what is it?
No, it's still on. My discussion with Dominic at Comcast is we're probably going to get them in July. Because remember, we had that discussion. For some reason within the Comcast world, if they don't close a project by a certain date, another team in Comcast can poach that work and poach that. And we decided not to go with the other team, keep to Dominic's team. He can't get that work assignment back till the end of July. And we said we would wait to do that. Plus, we just resolved that in the contract negotiations. Remember, we got permission to put them down there. So
Right.
You haven't officially voted on the highway. So as soon as you vote on the highway, I'm at the end of July, we're gonna put them in down at the transfer station.
Okay, great. Okay, that's all I have then.
Jared, you good?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, everybody else, we all right.
Good.
Well, with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, sir.
Motion made.
Second.
All right, any discussion on us adjourning? All right, nope. All right, thank you. Everyone have a great night. Appreciate
Trevor,
it.
one thing,
Yep,
we were talking about the town planner earlier and we started to craft together the job description.
yep,
You want me to try to add language in there for grant administration?
yeah.
Maybe,
I think that's an important part of it.
yeah, I didn't think about, I'll look at some other languages and I'll draft that and put that in there.
That'd be great. And then actually, so I don't think I finished my motion to adjourn. So all in favor?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, that's my fault. My fault. You caught me because I would have just shut off the meeting without actually properly closing it. So
Aye,
Aye.
and now Luann has to do her.
Selectman Zager?
yes.
Selectman Grunwald?
Yes.
Selectman Matthews?
Yes. Okay, now everyone have a great night.
You as well, thank you all.
And one last thing, not part of the meeting, but are we having real meeting, or not real meeting, but in-person meetings after this?
Think so? Yes.
Yes.
Is that the rule? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and they'll
21st.
be all at the police station?
Yes.
Okay,
All right. So the first one would be the 21st. Am I correct, Luann?
Correct.
All right. Very good.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Thank
all
you.
right.
Bye-bye.